By Farrah and Farrah, the University of Florida, Whataburger, and by Everbank. Jaguars postgame, presented by G.E.H.A, starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Jaguars postgame, brought to you by G.E.H.A, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. Final score in Houston was the Texans 36, Jaguars 29. Jaguars had a 19-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter. Pro Football Reference calls this the largest blown lead in Jaguars history for a losing result. And a stunning result it is in Houston against a backup quarterback, a partial backup offensive line for Houston, and at the end, the Jags defense couldn't stop them. The Jags offense couldn't move the ball in the last few possessions of the game, and it all fell apart today. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor is with us on the line as well. And a gut punch today, Fred. The Jags are now 5-4. Houston still has life at 4-5, and all of a sudden, Indy, 3 games up in the division?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? I hate to start the show by congratulating the opponent. I mean, you got to give Houston credit. You know, they say play the game for 60 minutes, and to have to be down by 3 scores with a little over 16 minutes to play in the ball game, it just shows, your resolve and your resilience in their ball club. As far as the Jags are concerned, they got to go and do some gut checking. They got to find a way to make plays. Granted, I can make a few excuses and nitpick the pass interference that was called there late on Jarian that advanced the ball for the Texans, and a few other things, roughing call, this, that, etc. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta close out this sort of ball game if you're going to be the superior team. If you want it bad enough, if you expect to be a playoff caliber team, you got to find a way, as we said in the pregame show, to step on their necks. And they gave them life. The Texans found a way to fight back, and this is the result.
Yeah, it's the most disappointing loss I can remember, honestly, in quite a while. And there have been a lot of losses around here, but to have this opportunity to get to 6-3, Fred, you're up 19 in the fourth quarter. You're up 19. You got outscored 26-0 in the fourth quarter, and you got 2 sacks all day on Davis Mills with the right side of their offensive line, backups, a rookie on the left side. I hardly heard Josh Hines-Allen's name called today. There had to be more pressure. The second half, Davis Mills stood back there, surveyed the field, and just picked this team apart with Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. And, I mean, look, could the offense have done more in the fourth quarter? Absolutely, right? But the defensive collapse, I thought, late in this game was just so disappointing, so shocking, really. 292, 27-45, 2 touchdowns. That early interception by Jarian Jones. Davis Mills settled in beautifully and threw the ball very well throughout the course of the game today. Shouldn't have been the case.
Yeah, we said this game was going to be decided by the offensive line play or the line play, not just offensive line play. But looking at the way this season has gone, Mike, in losses, we have yet to rush the ball well in any loss. And on the flip side, pressuring the quarterback. We're last in the league, as they mentioned on the telecast, in sacks. They didn't show up today. Not a ton of pressure. Davis Mills, as you just mentioned, was comfortable enough to go out there and make plays without pressure and execute for his team. So, again, we have to play better up front if we're going to be a dominant football team.
Jaguars fall today, losing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, 36-29 the final score. And the Jaguars fall to a record of 5-4. Houston improves to 4-5. We've got plenty ahead. We're out to Bucky Brooks. He'll be with us in Houston coming up shortly. He'll catch up with Jags head coach Liam Cohen. Plenty to dig into here today, certainly on the offensive side. Defense had issues late in the game. Special teams had some positivity early, but it's not enough. In a losing result in Houston, 36-29 is the score, and the Jaguars Radio Network is presented by the University of Florida, #1 university in the U.S. News & World Report's #1 state for education. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You might know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider of the Jaguars. I've been a client of theirs for more than 30 years because they're from here and they're Jaguar fans too. So if you're looking for prearranged transportation from the simple to the complex, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Federal employees keep our country going, and G.E.H.A. is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. G.E.H.A. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
Jaguars postgame continues. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. We're at the Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville after a Jags loss in Houston. 36-29 the final score. The largest blown lead in Jaguars franchise history today. 4 different times lost a 17-point lead in a losing result. Today in a losing result. They did have a 24-point lead on the Bills in London in 2015. Lost that lead. Ended up winning the game at Wembley Stadium in London. But today a losing result for the Jags when they had it in a hand. Couldn't get the job done. We go back to Houston now and head to the Everbank Vault. Bucky Brooks joining us now. And, we saw it from the television over the radio, but I'm sure front row seat was even tougher to take in this collapse today, Bucky.
Yeah, it's tough to take because it was so disappointing because the game was under control. When you scored a touchdown, you're up 19 points with a minute left in the third. It should be easy street in terms of finishing it out. Now, what happens in these games when the other team is in catch-up mode, you need the offense to get some plays to rest your defense. So when we talk about the defense not being able to get a pass rush, everyone only has so many plays before they begin to peter out. And because the defense was on the field so much the fourth quarter, those last drives, they couldn't really offer any resistance up front. And that's not a cop-out, but that's just what happens when you're in pass rush mode and you're never able to rest or fully let the offense kind of take some of the reins. And so it's disappointing on all sides, offense, defense, special teams. They just didn't finish the game. A winnable game that could come back to bite them when we get to the postseason.
No doubt about that. Fred Taylor with us as well. And Jags had a 29-10 lead after the ETN touchdown. The Houston score on a 13-point play drive to make it 29-18. But then the Jags, the next 2 offensive possessions, Fred, -4 yards and 6 yards, 2 3-and-outs following those touchdowns. Fred, if you're still with us, you got to move the football there at some point.
Yeah, you have to be able to run the ball, JP, again. But as I mentioned previously, that's the offensive line. Go back and look at the losses. We're not able to run the game and run the ball where we're able to sustain drives. And allow the defense to get that rest that's much needed.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And
on the sideline. I don't have it here charted, but the Texans had several drives that were multiple plays, which just wore the defense down.
Yeah, they had the 13-play Mills to Higgins touchdown drive. They had the Schultz touchdown drive. They had Davis Mills touchdown run at the end, of course. So, they had the ball, down with 6:10 to play from their own 7, and they go 93 yards on 14 plays for the game-winning touchdown. What it proved to be the game winner, the go-ahead touchdown at least. They added one defensively at the very end.
Yeah.
Bucky Brooks back with us in Houston now for another thought. And what's going on the sidelines when all this is beginning to form? You can kind of feel it, at least from our vantage point. I'm sure that had to be the feeling on the sideline too.
Well, absolutely. You do begin to feel, because here's what I'll say. The stadium is really, really loud when the Texans are rocking and rolling, and you can feel the momentum shift. And even though you're looking at the scoreboard and you're saying, okay, man, you're up like 11, you still have the game under control, but to then go 3 and out, then you could begin to sense it, particularly when they were backed up at the 7. You have a 3rd and 10, you elect a blitz, and then they get out of that jam. Then it began to spiral. We had a couple penalties that hurt us. But I'll be honest, before I can really talk about the defense, like the offense has to close the game out. Like we talk about priding ourselves in being a running team and being physical and doing those things. In the fourth quarter, when everyone in the stadium knows you have to run the football, you have to be able to run the football. And whether that's offensive line, running backs, or whatever, that's really what it boiled down to. You couldn't finish the game because you couldn't run the clock out.
Yeah, got to run the football, Fred, and a couple first downs here would have gone a really long way for this team today. Unfortunately, the losing result and in Houston today, final score 36-29 after a 19-point lead. Fred, there were some positive things early, the takeaways early. They built that lead. They had short fields, cashed in points. We got plenty of time to go through all the stuff at the very end, and we will, certainly, but they took advantage of some things early in this game to build this advantage, at least.
Yeah, JP, they certainly did. And, this is, or at least I anticipated that was going to be this type of game where they were able to get out, take advantage, and get on the scoreboard quick, get off to a fast start, especially on the road. That's what you want to do. But, again, just to double down on what Chucky, Bucky, I was thinking about the Bucs earlier when I said Chucky and all that stuff. Coach
Gruden, Gruden.
Gruden, yeah. I was having another conversation. I apologize. But, again, just what Bucky was saying there is the running backs got to light up. The offensive line got to light up. When we were in those positions, everyone knew we were going to run the ball, regardless. And we all wanted that challenge. And this has to be the same attitude. Not to say they don't have it, but, we were rarely up 19 in the fourth quarter when I played there because we ran the ball so much. But just to have that opportunity, man, you light up for it. And they put themselves in position, capitalizing on the turnovers, being able to go and score. The defense they were playing lights out early on, but in the fourth quarter to just give it all away is one of the worst ways to lose a game. And that 2-point conversion, it came back to haunt them, the one that they failed to execute to go up 31-10. That's a big play. It's not necessarily on the stat sheet, but it's a huge play that they'll go back and talk about more than a lot of the other plays.
Plenty ahead. Head coach Liam Cohen has just hit the podium speaking with the media in Houston. We'll return, and he'll catch up with Bucky Brooks. We'll hear from the Jaguars head coach after a loss in Houston. Final score 36-29. And this is Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank. Advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences. And go for end zones.
You believe that your moment is now. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Jaguars postgame brought to you by G.E.H.A, Government Employees Health Association. Benefits for federal employees and retirees. Final score in Houston. The Houston Texans over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 36-29. The Jaguars had a 19-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter. And then Houston started to make their comeback bid with a touchdown with 12:16 to play. Jags offense couldn't do anything with it. They go 3 and out. And then a 6-play, 51-yard drive. Dalton Schultz with a 7-yard touchdown reception from Mills made it 29-24. Jags couldn't do anything on offense again. And then Mills with a 14-yard run, front left corner inside the pylon, diving for the go-ahead touchdown. And the 2-point play no good. It was a 93-yard drive that made it 30-29 in favor of Houston. They got a defensive fumble return touchdown officially in the books, 32 yards from Rankins on the final play of the game to make it 36-29. It is, according to Pro Football Reference, the largest blown lead in Jaguars franchise history in a losing result. They've had larger blown leads but have won games. But this, 4 different times they had 17-point leads and blown those for losses. Today it's 19. And the Jags fall to a record of 5-4. Liam Cohen is visiting with the media. He'll walk down the hallway and catch up with Bucky Brooks coming up. But the question now, Fred, is can this group mentally get back from a collapse like this? And how does Liam Cohen circle the wagons?
Yeah, I think they'll bounce back. How does he circle the wagon? Just continue to push forward, man. Charge forward. Continue to coach as he's been coaching to come in and turn this season around and win more games than you've won a year ago. Those are the expectations. Not sure if everyone expected it to happen, but, you know, they're a much different ball club, a lot better than they were a year ago. They have to find a way to close these type of games out. And I think Liam, you know, they've been able to learn from all of the different experiences that they've been dealt this season. So, yeah, I think they're just going to go back to the drawing board, look at the plays that could have been better, look at the penalties, talk to the younger guys. I recall 2 penalties that jump out after the Texans scored to make it 29-18 on the kickoff return. Tootin gets a unnecessary roughness call, backs it up to the 13. Now pressure's on the offense. You go 3 and out, and we're talking field position on that particular drive. And here at the end of the game, the illegal hands to the face, more inexperience out there. And instead of a 61 or 2-yard field goal tried by Cam, who potentially could have been a game winner, you know, you get the penalty and back up. So it's a combination of things they can look at, JP, not just the plays, but also situationally making sure that the guys that are out there as backups, that they understand that these are the assignments and you have to act like you've been there before.
Yeah, I think the completion's going to get overshadowed, Fred, on the hands to the face, right? They had a chance, and they actually executed with only one timeout and had to use it after the sack and all that. But really, that was the at the end, you ended up having a 3-play drive. You had three-play drives in the fourth quarter for this team, including the last one where on 3rd down they ran it back for the touchdown. The Texans ran 33 plays in the fourth quarter to 9 for the Jags. Jags, if they had just simply taken a knee on every single one of their 9 plays and ran the full clock, would have been better than anything else they did in the fourth quarter.
No doubt about it. Jaguars fall today in Houston, 36-29, the final score. Jags fall to a record of 5-4. Head coach Liam Cohen now in Houston with Bucky Brooks.
Very, very tough loss.
Yeah, we got to go figure out how to win tough games or games in general. I mean, you're up 19. There's no excuse to not finish that game in the win column. They're fighting for their season. We know that. And, you let them off the hook. We let them off the hook. And you got a 19-point lead and, score 29 points. However those points came, you got 29 points on the board against the number 1 defense in the National Football League. And with a backup quarterback that we have to have a mindset and mentality as a team to go put those guys away, and we didn't do it today.
Talk about that, because you talk about you told the team we have to learn how to win. Talk about some of that process, like when you're in the fourth quarter, the things that go into finishing games off like that.
I mean, I think that when we come out of the half and we went down and got points, well, what is the response now to the other side of the ball? Like, is there any sense of urgency to say, okay, man, this is the time to choke them out and to keep them down? And then, you punt it, get a great punt, and they're down to the 7-yard line or whatever it was. And the mindset to keep them back there and to have more of a sense of urgency as a group to choke people out when you have the opportunity to do so. And when you got your hands on the quarterback, we got to get them down to the ground. And we let the guy go scramble in on 3rd and 15 on the 15 to go win the game.
You talk about, talking about it, so you talk about, hey, we have to learn how to win. You go through situations on the practice field to work on that, but developing that mindset, how does that happen when you're talking to pro athletes about, hey, you got to finish out games?
Yeah. That's a hard one that we have to go and talk about first, as a group, because you'd think that you'd have the confidence to go do it in the moment, and whether it's the calls, the play calls, whether it's the execution, we have to evaluate that and have a real conversation about how we can get these guys to go and do that, because I don't think anybody probably would have been sitting here saying, you got a 19-point lead and you're going to lose. I mean, I don't know what the win probabilities are there, but that's their season. Their season's on the line, and I don't know if we played with the passion and the fire in the second half as a team to do what we needed to do to go finish that game.
One of the things that you talked about since coming in, you said a storm is coming. And what is our response going to be like? You kind of echoed that sentiment to the team. Like, we can't get this one back. How we respond really matters. So how do you challenge the guys to respond the right way?
Yeah, well, the way that we come back to work tomorrow will matter. The way that we handle the meetings and the corrections, the coaching points matters. And then the way that we go out and practice this week. We had great energy at practice last week. We had arguably some of our best execution in some ways last week in all 3 phases. And it showed at times today, but not obviously long enough.
Well, one thing we know, we're going to tee it up next week.
That's
we have
right.
a chance to get it going.
That's right.
See you next week.
All right. Appreciate it, Bucky.
Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach with Bucky Brooks in Houston. And the head coach interview is presented by G.E.H.A, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. And that was head coach Liam Cohen after a 19-point lead and a blown lead. Jaguars fall today. It's the largest blown lead in Jaguars history for a losing result, 36-29, the final score. Plenty more ahead. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification, though, first on the Jaguars Radio Network. Defensive play of the game, stats check, player of the game, all that still to come after a Jaguars loss in Week 10, 36-29, Texans over the Jaguars, and this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Federal employees keep our country going, And G.E.H.A. is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. G.E.H.A. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
RingCentral will completely transform the way you work. It gives you built-in AI across all your business conversations. Your phone system has an AI receptionist that answers calls 24/7. Your video meetings have AI that takes notes instantly. Even your contact center has AI, so you can help customers faster. It all comes together in one reliable platform for effortless AI communications. See for yourself at ringcentral.com. RingCentral, voice of your business.
NFL fans, when it's time to get Jaguars tickets, you can tackle game day with total certainty with Ticketmaster. With 100% verified tickets available all season long, you can count on getting in with ease and spend time focusing on the good stuff. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, you can still score seats. Want to meet up inside the stadium with your crew? Transferring your tickets is an easy handoff. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
The year-end sales event is going on now at your local Ford dealer. Celebrate with great offers to ring in the season. Now's the time to take home the legendary Ford F-150, the truck at the top of everyone's list. Or Ford Expedition, an SUV with room for all your passengers and presents. And if you're ready for big holiday thrills, unwrap the Built Wild Bronco SUV. Celebrate the holidays in a new Ford. Hurry, the year-end sales event ends soon. See your local Ford dealer today.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. Just like the best players to ever wear the Jaguars black and teal, Echo East Coast Transportation is reliable when it counts. As the team's official transportation provider, they've been getting the Jaguars players, staff, and executives where they need to be, safely and on time, for more than a decade, with the newest vehicles and professional drivers. Call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions for your 15% Jaguars discount.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Jaguars postgame presented by G.E.H.A. continues. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville. Fred Taylor with us from South Florida. And PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Final score 36-29 Texans over the Jaguars. The Jags led this by 19 at the start of the fourth quarter. It's the largest blown lead in Jaguars history for a losing result. And the Jags fall to a record of 5-4. It's time for the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. It certainly didn't come in the fourth quarter. It came early in the game. Jarian Jones with an interception on the third play from scrimmage and jumped the route on the slot receiver and got the pick. So Jarian Jones gets our Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. It's kingfishpest.com. Fred, anything stand out from the head coach, Liam Cohen, with Bucky Brooks there? There's a lot of talk about the inability to, as he said, choke out the other team when they had the opportunity.
Yeah, JP, I was worried about if I could say step on their necks. And here it is, the head man saying we have to choke them out. We can't let them go. He said they let him off the hook. And he wasn't sure if it's, more of play calls, execution, or a combination of it all. And I love Coach Cohen. I was hoping that they would pull this off so I can say happy birthday and this win would be a birthday gift for him. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So, I don't know what he's going to do to celebrate, but I can't celebrate any of this if I was him. Again, man, I think I said I love Coach because his demeanor, he just calls it how it is. One of those young coaches that's able to accept the truth, that's able to speak truth to it, and without calling the guys out. He can say, hey, the offense got to find a way to close it out. The defense has to do this. But he just subtly says things, but you get the point, right? So, I don't know. I would love to be in the locker room and see what those conversations are like. But I think that, excuse me, I think that they're going to find a way to get out of this hole. Well, I call it a hole because of the type of loss, but they'll bounce back versus the Chargers at home next week.
How do you develop a killer instinct, Fred? Do you have it innately? I think that's what Liam Cohen's talking about. Like, hey, when we smell blood in the water, we got to be sharks.
It's trickle down, man. That happens in practice. It's happened with the leaders, the guys that are quote unquote the leaders on the field. I know who our killer instinct guys were for us. It was the Naolis of the world, guys that didn't talk. Guys just going to walk up on there and put those big claws on you and didn't say much. The Marcus Strouds, the John Hendersons, the guys that let you slap them before the game to get them going. Those were killer instincts. I don't know what's in that locker room. To a man, they have to go back and say, hey, I need more from you. I need more from you. This is what I expect from you in crunch time. So they'll figure that out. That's a conversation amongst themselves. But again, a lot of guys got that dog in them. They just have to find ways to play smarter, in those in those moments where the situation presented itself.
Plenty more ahead. We'll return with the Everbank Stats Check. We'll also have a player of the game voting a little bit later. The injury report after a Jaguars loss in Houston, 36-29. The Texans over the Jags, and it's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota. Let's go places. Get 1.99% APR for 36 months on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma Hybrid. Offer valid through December 1st, 2025. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $28.64 monthly payment for every $1,000 financed. Excludes tax tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA. To not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Final score, Texans 36, Jaguars 29 in Week 10. Jaguars fall to 5-4. The Texans improved to 4-5. It's Jaguars postgame presented by G.E.H.A. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor. The largest blown lead in franchise history in a losing result, according to Pro Football Reference. 19-point lead early in the fourth quarter All but had it wrapped up, Mike. What's the percentage that ESPN put out?
I think 98.4 was the high with 13 minutes to go. That was the Jags' likelihood to win the game.
Yeah, so we were just talking about that earlier with Freddie T. It's time now for an Everbank stats check. We take a look at the team stats in the game. Houston outgaining the Jags by 200 yards almost, 412 to 213 in the game. Rushing yardage, 130 on the ground for Houston, 94 on the ground for the Jags, 282 passing net for Houston, 119 for the Jaguars. Jags are 4 of 11 on third down. The Texans 10 of 15 on third down in this game. The Texans had 27 first downs to the Jaguars 19. Penalties a problem again, 9 for 90 yards against the Jaguars, 11 for 80 yards against Houston. Each team with 2 turnovers. And time of possession, only a minute in favor of the Houston Texans, though it felt like the Jaguars were out there forever defensively in the fourth quarter, because they were. That's right. In terms of plays, what was the play total again in the last?
33 to 9 in the fourth.
That's
3 drives apiece.
And so they had chances on offense with a few first downs, couldn't do it multiple times. They had chances on defense to get a stop or two, or one stop was really all you needed. Couldn't do that either. A full team collapse today.
Absolutely. Individually, Trevor Lawrence 13 to 23, 158 yards, a touchdown, an interception, got run back for a score there at the end of the day. They ruled that a fumble
return,
actually, right? Fumble return for the touchdown. He had 2 fumbles on the day, also the interception. Davis Mills was 27 to 45, 292, pair of touchdowns, 1 interception early, a quarterback rating of 84.7 compared to 74.2 for Trevor. On the ground, Travis Etienne had 16 carries for 58 yards. That means he only had 7 carries in the second half in a game in which at one point you're leading by 19 points. Did score a rushing touchdown. Trevor Lawrence ran 5 times for 35 yards. Woody Marks, 14 for 63. Nick Chubb, 5 for 47. Chubb averaging 9.4 yards a carry. Woody Marks 4.5 against the Jags, coming in as the number 3 rush defense in the league. Jacoby Myers actually led in receiving yardage today at 3 catches for 41. Parker Washington 3 for 33, including a touchdown. Nico Collins, 5th consecutive 100-plus yard game against the Jaguars, caught 7 for 136. Dalton Schultz had 7 for 53 with a touchdown. Jaden Higgins 5 for 42 with a touchdown. Defensively for the Jags, Antonio Johnson, Eric Armstead with the sacks. Dewey Wingard, 9 total tackles to match Foye Oluokun. 3 of those solos for Dewey, 1 solo for Foye. On the other side, 3.5 sacks from Danielle Hunter. He was a game wrecker, and guys in triple figures for his career. Not that much of a surprise.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter, man, he came in with over 100 sacks in his career. Fred added 3.5 today.
Good player, man. I remember him up in Minnesota. Had some quiet time, but today he lit it up. And I thought we would probably put a little bit more chip help on him. I remember that one play on the end. Quinn Allen ended up cross-picking up on the chip help, and Danielle beat the tackle on the left side to get after Trevor, man. Just a big game. But, I was sitting here thinking and wondering, we're all kind of tied up with the, the comeback, the 19 points. But as you were reading off the stats, JP, offense just didn't play well at all. I mean, because of field position, those early turnovers, we were able to get 13 points off those turnovers. But if we can't generate offense on our own, those points don't exist. And the Texans just kicked their butts today, fair and square. I mean, yes, we can say, they have to close out, but just looking at it, they really wasn't – they got beat.
Yeah. They
got beat.
Not much offensive success today. A couple key plays early. Parker Washington, toe tap touchdown. But again, that was a short field, right? I mean, that was a 19-yard drive. I mean,
they took advantage.
It is the NFL, and when you look at wins and losses, in the big room, we go back and say, well, this happened and that happened. Yeah, and we put it under a microscope, and that's the only reason I bring it up, because as you're reading the statistics, they don't always tell the truth. Right, we saw the game. We saw that Jacksonville should have closed out, but when you look at it, the Texans, for a team to have been, the record was as bad as it was, 3-5. You could have put them away to be able to still fight without your starting quarterback. They played well. and Jacksonville has to find a way to turn things around, because as you look at how this playoff picture is starting to shape up, some can say it's a little early, but like you're right there, barely hanging on. So you got to find a way to turn it around.
Longest scoring drive today in terms of net yards for the Jags, longest drive at all, 59 net yards on the field goal in the third quarter, then a 58-yard touchdown drive to go up 19, and then, as you mentioned, Mike, the final three drives, 3 plays each, -4, 6, and -1 in the final 3 possessions of the game.
And all that without the hands to the face. Cam Little's rolling out there, and every single one of us talking here thinks we're going to win that football
That's
game.
right. Oh, no, it felt like there was a chance. There certainly was, and some key penalties late, and the Jags could not get it done today. Plenty ahead. We're back in a moment. We've got the player of the game voting when we return. Injury report still to come as well. We've got the scoreboard show coming up in just a little bit. Jags fall in Houston. It's the Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Federal employees keep our country going, and G.E.H.A. is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. G.E.H.A. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Jags fans, this season make your game day even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium, and then you can enjoy even more with the Al's Pizza Pickoff promo after the game. When the Jaguars get 2 interceptions in one game, you'll score 50% off one pizza, any size you want, for 48 hours after the game. Just tell them you want the Jags Pick promo when you order. Up your game and your pizza with Al's at the stadium or any of their 5 locations.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas. Championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program. The First Coast Forward Together. To learn more, visit Jaguars.com/forward together.
Jaguars postgame brought to you by G.E.H.A. Government Employees Health Association. Benefits for federal employees and retirees. Final score 36-29. Texans over the Jaguars. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Because we must, it's time for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting today. I get a vote, Mike gets a vote, Fred gets a vote and a half, and I have no idea who I'm voting for. Mike, who do you got?
Oh, Parker Washington. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Peasy.
Okay.
Scored a touchdown. Yeah. Receiving, had 2 punt returns for a total of 90 yards, including the 73-yard touchdown. Easy.
Wasn't as hard as I thought. Okay,
no.
Fred, you going to go with that too?
Yeah, Parker Washington.
Yeah, easy today. 3 for 33, touchdown, and his 3rd career punt return score. All 3 of those, by the way, on deep punts that drive him back and open space about 10, 15 yards where he can kind of maneuver. He hesitated this time, let the rush go one way, and then off he went. And he was about the 45-yard line going in when he put his finger up.
Yep. See you later.
He knew it. He was gone. Nobody was going to catch him. Parker Washington is the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game, and from the backyard of the beaches, the Ford F-150 with available Pro Power on board gives you the power of a mobile generator. Ford, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. See your local Ford dealer today. UF Health Injury Report when we return. More with Fred Taylor and Mike Dempsey in a moment. It's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Federal employees keep our country going, and G.E.H.A. is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. G.E.H.A. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Jags fans, this season make your game day even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium, and then you can enjoy even more with the Al's Pizza Pickoff promo after the game. When the Jaguars get 2 interceptions in one game, you'll score 50% off one pizza any size you want for 48 hours after the game. Just tell them you want the Jags Pick promo when you order. Up your game and your pizza with Al's at the stadium or any of their 5 locations.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Floridians, do you know how close you are to freshness? It's not a plane or a ship ride away. It's not across an ocean or over the equator. It's not even a far drive. The peak of freshness is at your grocery store, and it's called Fresh from Florida. Fresh from Florida is local produce grown by farmers right here in our own state, meaning it's always fresh, always in season, and always mouth-wateringly good. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo or ask for it by name where you shop.
It's here that a tiny newborn has the heart surgery needed to save her life. It's here that a first grader learns to speak clearly and confidently. It's here that a 12-year-old athlete builds the strength to run full speed again. It's here at Wolfson Children's Hospital that answers are found, courage is shown, and odds are beaten every day. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars postgame presented by G.E.H.A. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor at the Hyundai Studios after Jags lost 36-29 to the Houston Texans, blowing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, the largest blown lead in franchise history, according to Pro Football Reference. The Jags fall to a record of 5-4. And the injury report is presented by UF Health, the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A couple of offensive line injuries. Patrick McCary, the right guard in the fourth quarter, was helped off the field, and then Anton Harrison was not on the field late in the fourth quarter at right tackle, according to Jeff Lageman. So some things to watch on the offensive line. The left guard was out already today, Ezra Cleveland. Jags were missing Brian Thomas Jr. at wide receiver today. They were missing Hunter Long, the tight end. And, of course, on the defensive side, they were missing Jordan Lewis, the cornerback, and yeah, boy, they could really use Brenton Strange back next week. He's eligible to be off that injured reserve list starting next week against the Chargers.
Yeah, both for the run game, Fred, and the passing game. Remember, he was the leading receiver against this Houston team the first time these two teams played, caught 6 for 61, and obviously he is a force blocking in the run game for the Jags.
Yeah, things changed a lot after he went out, just from the cohesiveness in the offense. It began to not be as smooth. You know, he's big in the passing game, in the run game, as you mentioned, in the screen game. We haven't seen many tight end screens since he's been out, and I'm sure they'll be excited to have him back.
All right, guys, that's the injury report presented by UF Health. We'll return. We'll take a quick preview of that Chargers matchup next week here at the Bank. The Jags with a rare home game in this long road stretch of games, 4 of the 5 in this stretch on the road. First 2 of those in the books. And this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences. And go for end zones.
You believe that your moment is now. At Farrah and Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota. Let's go places. Lease a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for $279 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through December 1st, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $42.78 due at signing. No security deposit. With select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
My husband, Steve, was diagnosed with prostate cancer. They only gave him months to live. That was years ago. Now, he's out there, under the tree. Nature photography is his thing. And apparently, so is catching poison ivy.
Oof, so itchy. UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Jaguars postgame brought to you by G.E.H.A. Government Employees Health Association. Benefits for federal employees and retirees. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the Hyundai Studios. Fred Taylor in South Florida. Jags fall in Houston today, 36-29. Well, guess what? Next week, the L.A. Chargers come to town, and you'll get a chance to scout the Chargers tonight on Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers head to L.A. to face the Chargers, an 8:20 kickoff time tonight. This is an L.A. team that is dangerous in a lot of ways, Fred. Where are they most dangerous?
You know, you want to get after the quarterback. You know, similar thing that we saw a couple years ago in the playoff. That team goes through their quarterback, but they do have a solid defensive line, still led by Khalil Mack, a guy who's been getting it done. Then when you look at former Seminole on the back end and Derwin James, you know, he's their leader. He's fiery. He's all over the place. Blitzing, coverage, etc. So getting after their quarterback and also blocking their up front guys, and the receivers are going to have to make sure they are active in the passing game because they also have a pretty good secondary.
Yeah, look, both their tackles are out, but look at Houston's offensive line today and how much pressure do the Jags get. So, I mean, and Justin Herbert is a lot more accomplished quarterback than Davis Mills, so I am definitely worried about it because the season Herbert is having, he is picking people apart when given any kind of time. And I don't know if it matters that much if their tackles are out. The Jags haven't proven to me they're going to be able to take advantage of that. So hopefully that gets rectified by next week.
All right, so the Jaguars at 5-4 will host the L.A. Chargers, who enter tonight's game with a 6-3 record. They host the Steelers this evening at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And next week, that football game scheduled for 1 o'clock. Early body clock time for the L.A. Chargers. Good football travel, so no matter the time, it will be a tough matchup for the Jags next week. And tickets are available. It is the Salute to Service game next week, 633-2000, or visit jaguars.com/tickets. Fred, have a great week. We'll talk to you a little later. Appreciate you, as always.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
All right, Fred.
Fred Taylor, pride of the Jaguars, running back, joining us. We're back in a moment on our flagship station, 1010XL. The Scoreboard Show is next. Brian Sexton will join us. Plenty to dissect. Not much of it's pretty in a 19-point blown lead for the Jaguars and a 36-29 loss to the Houston Texans. Thanks for listening to Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks will take your calls about today's game and take a look at the rest of the league. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Farrah and Farrah, Whataburger, the University of Florida, and by Everbank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios after the Jaguars suffer their largest blown lead in franchise history. 19 points in the fourth quarter. They had the lead, and they had things going their way until they didn't. They couldn't stop the Texans at all in the fourth quarter. Texans with, 167 yards on 29 plays in the fourth quarter offensively and 3 offensive touchdowns. The Jaguars, 9 plays, 3 different 3-play drives, 11 yards, and 1 first down in the fourth quarter. And an epic collapse of the Jaguars, an all-time collapse, in fact, in a losing result today. Final score, 36-29. Brian, good afternoon.
Oh, it's great. I'll give you a stat. I don't know if you guys have said this one yet. In the Jaguars' history, they had a 19-point lead 51 different times, right? At any point in the game, they had a 19-point lead 51 previous times. This was the first time they have ever lost with a 19-point lead.
Right.
I mean, it was just, I don't even know where to go with it. 1 net yard on offense.
Yeah.
The defense got no pressure at all. None. Against a backup offensive line.
If Davis Mills has time.
We talked about it. We talked about it this morning. I mean, it was just, if you could have written a scenario, if this, then that, and had 5 or 6 different things that the dominoes would all have to fall their way, they did. It's epic.
Yeah. It's an all-time.
Unparalleled.
Yeah, no, It hasn't happened. Like now they've had a 24-point lead in London against the Bills.
I remember.
Lost that lead, won the game on the Allen Hurns elbow in the end zone front left corner.
Yeah, here's the part that you really have remorse for. You had a chance to push them down the playoff
out
of it, essentially. You're still sitting at 7. You have the advantage over Kansas City right now, but right behind them is Houston. Now, Houston does have a very difficult schedule the rest of the way, but they do get C.J. Stroud back, and you saw what that defense is capable of doing. They're not going away. The Ravens won today with Lamar back. Now, they're 4-5, so you only have 1 game separating you from a couple of teams that looked like they were limping just 2 weeks ago, and instead, now all of a sudden, you find yourself in a precarious position. Playoffs, it looked like the Jaguars were going to make a strong case for it with a 29-10 lead to start the fourth quarter. And afterwards, I find myself asking, can they hold on? Even with the Titans twice and the Jets.
I agree with you. Like, Fred thinks he'll bounce back from this one, Fred Taylor. We'll see. You know, this team has not had a game like this. I mean, you lost badly to the Rams, but that's one of those ones you got your brains beat in from the start. This is one where you are the bully for 3 quarters of this football game.
Well, and we can talk about both sides of the ball equally. I found myself just scratching my head with how the offense couldn't make a play for a first down. Just extend it a little bit. The 33-9 number that you guys have been talking about, 33 plays to 9. I mean, the 167 yards. What was the time of possession in the fourth quarter? Jaguars maybe had 3-4 minutes tops?
Yeah, if that.
I mean, it's stunning. And I heard the head coach on with Bucky. I mean, what do you say? There's no explanation.
Time of possession, 10 minutes, 58 seconds of the fourth quarter for Houston.
I've seen worse, but it still felt
ain't
worse.
Good, Coach.
Yeah. No.
Far from good. Plenty to dissect, and we'll get to most all of it. Good and, not much good, early good, but a lot of bad late for the Jaguars in a 19-point blown lead. Final score, 36-29, the Texans over the Jags, and this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
Jaguars fans, are you ready to beat the heat? All season long, head to Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach, Fleming Island, and the West Side to cheer on your Jags. And here's the game-changing play. Order the Beat the Heat Special, which includes 12 of the best wings in town, and score a free milkshake or ice-cold milk in the Jaguars souvenir cup. Thanks to our friends at Florida Dairy Farmers. Fuel up, cool down, and celebrate your Jaguars with Mr. Chubby's Wings and Florida Dairy Farmers, the ultimate game day team.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, I'm Logan Cook, punter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or stolen is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn on the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. But remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead, have a designated driver, keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital, with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Continues right now.
Washington fielded at the 29-yard line, gets up the field, 35, 40-yard line, running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, on the right sideline, Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back, Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville, there are no flags, the Jags have extended the lead.
72-yard punt return touchdown for Parker Washington, the third in his career, second of this season, all of them on deep punts that drive him back, and he opened some space, and he took it the distance, one of two touchdowns today for Washington, had one receiving, and of course that one is the call of the game presented by Coil Fence. Frank Frangie with the call, and since 1927 they've been around the block and fenced it too. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. And this is the Jaguars Scoreboard Show presented by Everbank. Advantage you. Make the most out of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars.
By the way, both of those are records for Parker. 2 in a season, a Jaguars single-season record, 3 for his career. He was tied with Reggie Barlow before that. So he now is the punt return king in Jacksonville.
All right.
Yeah, almost we had the third.
Yeah.
And got called back with the penalty.
Yeah,
so.
I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to have.
He's been tremendous.
When the Jags offense, early in the season, remember when the Jags offense scuffled a little bit, defense had some scores, some takeaways, and then special teams will get a score here or there. It happened today early in the game. They just couldn't sustain it.
Hey, listen, we're not going to talk a lot of positive stuff here, but just a note on him. I mean, pound for pound, is there anybody that is tougher than he is? I mean, Trayvon Walker's, I think, the toughest guy on the team, but I mean, the guy is looking up at the sky as people are coming towards him, and he doesn't flinch. He put his shoulder into a defender on the sideline today.
Put him into the bench.
Yeah, he goes up and over guys and manages to get his feet down. I mean, how about just an appreciation for what a good football player he is? I don't want to go over the top and say but he's really good.
He's developed into it, too. He didn't have a lot of playing time early in his career because Christian Kirk was around. And
he had the knee injury late in the season at Penn State.
Yeah, so he's kind of worked his way and bided his time, and now it's starting to pay off in a big way for him.
Yeah, and you wonder, too, with the added importance of him on offense if they would back off him in the return game a little bit. And it's a good thing that they didn't, or this game might have been over earlier.
Yeah. Should we go dig in the offense here or the defense here? At the
Whichever
end?
you like.
I mean, because they're both equally bad at the end.
Yeah, it's the offense that I just can't get out of my head. I mean, you can't get a couple of first downs. I mean, I get it. It's the number one defense in football, and you're playing, with a new guy who's just been there, and Trammell is there. But I thought it was interesting at the end of the third quarter. I marked it down in my notebook as a really important moment. When was it? Jarian Jones knocked the ball away from Nico Collins on fourth down. Okay, big moment here now. You've got the ball with a chance to go down and put the game out of reach. At least it felt like you'd put the game out of reach. It seems to everybody listening here that it would put the game out of reach. And on a couple of plays there, I mean, Trevor pushed out of the pocket, finds Johnny Munt, who manages to stay on his feet and give us the biggest play of his time here in Jacksonville. And then a little bit later, 2-3 plays later, he finds Austin Trammell, down to the 16-yard line. You're thinking, all right, we're working with these backup guys, right? These key pieces that we talked about last week. How come you can't work with them in the fourth quarter? There's nothing. That was the part you have a $54 million quarterback. You are supposed to be able to get a first down or two to protect a lead. And I'm not saying it's all on him. Because he was under pressure all day. But for goodness sakes, you have the pieces to be able to get a first down.
But, again, like we discussed when Fred was on with us, if there's no hands to the face by Chuma Edoga, then Cam Little's running out there, and Trevor Lawrence has thrown them with no timeouts, a sideline ball to get out of bounds.
Point well taken. There's your $54 million quarterback making a play.
That's the big play
to get you there.
But it didn't count, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, look.
Wow. That's what it is today.
I mean, it felt like, honestly, to me, field goals would be enough. But in the fourth quarter, they couldn't even get that. 26-0. Like, one more field goal somewhere along the line. The way Houston was struggling to score, particularly just move the ball in the first half. But you could feel the momentum shift.
Oh, yeah.
That fourth quarter, there was no way they were stopping them. It was one of those games.
And what was it that gave them momentum, right? I mean, I could make the case that Jarian Jones knocking the ball down on fourth down was the momentum that the Jaguars needed.
Should have been.
Right? So what was the play? I missed it if there was a play.
Well, to me, it was just the Davis Mills' ability to drop back and not be molested back there. And look, I think Liam Cohen is putting this on the defense because you heard in the postgame, he said, we didn't choke him out.
No, we had him at the 7-yard line.
Right. We had him backed up, and he goes, however we got him, we put up 29 points on the best defense in the league today. And so, granted, one of them came on a punt return, one of the touchdowns. I think he felt like the offense did enough, but I understand situationally they certainly didn't in the fourth quarter. Look, the team lost.
He also said we let their guy run in on 3rd and goal from the 14, okay?
He's right.
That's what he said.
Honestly, at that point, though, that was probably the best thing that could have happened because
time left.
Right. They could have run that down to nothing. They probably still, in my mind, would have scored anyway, but left them enough time to get in position for a field goal.
Again, I'm not going to defend the defense because you can't, but I'll point out that a first down or two in a 4-minute offense might have given you a chance to be that to be the best form of defense that you could play as well. One side of the ball had to pick the other side of the ball up, and both sides looked at each other today and said, what are you going to do?
So the Jags go up 29-10 on the ETN run, right? And the 2-point play is no good, so it's 29-10. But here come the Texans. They drive down the field, 13 plays, 65 yards, just over 4 minutes, and they find Higgins for a 12-yard touchdown. They get the 2-point play, and now all of a sudden it's 11, 2-score game, a lot of football left. I guess if there's a turning point, maybe that's just the first step in the progression, but you got to take the first step to take the rest of the steps. If they don't score there, forget it.
Well, it was an incredible catch on the 2-point conversion with one hand and managing to not only worry about the ball but his feet at the same moment. So I guess that maybe was the point where it was all in their corner.
By the way, there was that one pass that Nico Collins caught over the middle that was right between two defenders and could have had his head taken off. Didn't look phased. That's what a number one receiver does. Guys are going to hit you in the National Football League. He's an outside guy. He is a stretch-the-field guy. He can run all the routes, but he's not known for being a big-body, tough guy. But when the time calls for it, he went in there and got the job done.
Plenty to dissect. We'll dive as deep as we can into this one. 19-point blown lead for the Jags, and they fall on the road in Houston, 36-29 the final score. And this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Huddle up, My Gate Rewards members. Football is back. Celebrate with the Duval Meal Deal at Gate. Right now, grab a personal pizza and any 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.99. No matter what combo you choose, this meal's the perfect play. Happening now through January 5th, 2026. See store for details. A deal that's a victory for every fan. Gates got you.
Is your organization ready to tackle its toughest challenges? For 3 decades, CSI Companies, based in Jacksonville, has been the trusted workforce partner for leading healthcare and technology providers nationwide. Whether finding the right talent for a specific job, advising on a strategic project, or offering seamless managed services, they tailor every solution to fit your needs. CSI brings trusted expertise and a people-first approach to your organization. Get the job done right. Together, we go further. Learn more at CSICompanies.com.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sales event, buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 full years. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable all year round. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home design consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas. Championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program. The First Coast Forward Together. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/forward together.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
It is the Scoreboard Show after Jaguars' loss in Houston. Final score 36-29, blowing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. And we dig into some parts of this football game and the lack of pass rush. Jaguars had 2 sacks today. Antonio Johnson, one of those, a safety. Eric Armstead had one of those. Jaguars had 4 total hits on the quarterback today. Trayvon Walker had both hands on the quarterback, couldn't bring him down at one point because he's still got an issue with his left hand. Strigo had a hit on the quarterback, Armstead with the sack. Hines Allen had 1 quarterback hit today. So with the Jaguars up 19, you know what's coming from Houston. They're going to throw the football. And in key moments, certainly late, when you think you'd be able to pin your ears back and get after it, maybe not even with 4, bring a little bit of heat, they couldn't get home on the quarterback. And it's been a week-over-week story. It's not just today, but it showed up in a big way late today.
They're not climbing off the bottom of the league in sacks.
No.
I mean, they're just – I thought early on, because Armstead was in the backfield a lot,
that was going to be the key. I mean, how much have we talked about there being some sort of pressure in the middle of the line to force the quarterback to roll towards Josh or roll towards Trayvon and into the oncoming fire? And yet that pressure was nowhere to be found in the second half. And the confusing part is nothing seemed to work. I know this. You're not getting there with these four because they haven't.
No.
They haven't got there. You're not getting there with these four guys. You've got to do something different.
Yeah, I think they reach a point where they realize they're not getting there with five either, and then they just decided, we're going to rush four and we're going to drop a bunch of guys, at least based on what, Frank was calling. He's got four coming, and we had a close to a 10-second delay. So by the time the play was going, you couldn't kind of sync it up in your mind. But look, Josh Hines-Allen, we talked to John McClain this week on my show, and he's covered Houston football for a half a century. And he thought Josh Hines-Allen was going to destroy Ariante Ursary based on the way Ursary has played this year. And he had a really good game that first game. He had a half sack, 3 quarterback hits that first time around. This is the guy, Trayvon's out here with one hand.
Yep.
And if he had to, he would have had a big sack in this game. I saw him in the backfield a lot today. To me, maybe it's all disappointing. The loss itself is number one, but the fact that Josh Hines-Allen wasn't more of a factor in this game might be the top thing on my disappointment list.
You wouldn't have been able to convince me before this game that the Jaguars wouldn't have 5 or 6 sacks. And I was basing that on what I had seen from the Houston offensive line here, JP. You remember the game. Mm-hmm. And that was with C.J. Stroud, who's a very difficult quarterback to get on the ground. Who knew that Davis Mills was a guy that was difficult to get on the ground? I don't want to call him a statue, but he doesn't move all that well. And, of course, people listening are going, well, what about on that touchdown? Yeah, I'm still wondering about that.
Exactly.
I mean, that was just like a lane.
Yeah,
right. That was a lane. Like, how are you going to let him get out and beat you like that? You could not have convinced me that the Jaguars wouldn't be able to. But I think this is the thing going forward, especially if the injuries persist in your defensive backfield. I mean, I think if we were talking to Anthony Campanile right now, he would talk about wanting to protect guys on the back end, safeties that had not played very well in recent weeks, not having Travis Hunter, not having Jordan Lewis, wanting to make sure that there was help from Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome, who's been here for a handful of weeks. But at some point, I mean, you've got to figure out a way to impact the quarterback. And in the last 2 drives, they didn't even impact him.
Nope.
Jordan Jones, one positive on defense today. Interception earlier, 2 tackles for loss, 2 passes defense.
Yeah, that one set up the touchdown that I thought was the game ender.
Yeah. Alas, here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back. We got to get into the offense again.
Really?
Especially the offensive line. Some injuries late.
Okay.
Second straight week, the Jaguars have had some key injuries in game and unable to close it out this time. The final score, 36-29. Texans over the Jaguars. Back with more in a moment. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sales event, buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 full years. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable all year round. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home design consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
Hey, Jaguar fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Join the thousands of Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Stadium on game day. That's JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jags. Passes start at $10 on the MyJTA mobile app. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. Game Day Express is one way the JTA is working to create a better connected Northeast Florida. Visit JTAFLA.com for more details.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now. But she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Hey, I'm Logan Cook, punter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or stolen is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn on the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. But remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead, have a designated driver, keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
36-29 the final. Texans over the Jaguars. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios as the Scoreboard Show continues. The Jaguars, according to Pro Football Reference, with their largest blown lead in franchise history, 4 different times had 17-point leads blown for losses. They at one point had a 24-point lead in a game in London in 2015, lost that lead but won the game, so that doesn't count in the official statistic. This one certainly does today. The largest blown lead in franchise history, leading by 19 going into the fourth quarter, which was a disaster for the Jaguars. Today on the road in Houston, the Jags fall to 5-4.
In his post-game news conference, which I was just re-listening to, Trevor talked about how hard it is to lose in the NFL, right? I mean, how much it sucks to lose. But to lose like this, sorry, I know a lot of people who didn't play in the game that are going to get up tomorrow feeling like they're hungover, right? I mean, just that sort of the energy that you expend. I can only imagine what it's going to feel like to be a player, to get up and come in here tomorrow. That's not going to be an easy thing to do. I wonder if you're not careful, if it lingers a bit. I mean, Liam has got to have a game plan. He and Tony Baselli and James Gladstone, I'm sure, will be putting their heads together on the flight home about the messaging on this one, because you got to be real careful not to let the Texans beat you twice. I can remember, Mike, and I'm sure you do too, when the Steelers would get this team early, right? And the next week they'd lose the game as well, right? That went into the Jack Del Rio era. And you can't let a team beat you twice. When you lose like this, it's a real possibility that you struggle to get past it.
You put so much into it and you have that lead. It's the fashion you lost. If you lost this game 28-21, it was back and forth the whole game.
Yeah.
You probably feel differently. Fred Taylor said, hey, they're going to be fine. They'll bounce back. I think Fred's being an optimist. I think his group of players, he's confident would have bounced back. I don't know. We haven't seen a loss like this with this group.
Well, he also mentioned his group of players probably wouldn't have blown a lead like this.
Yeah.
True.
How's it going to feel to be you this week? I mean, just as a comparison, how's it going to take? How long will it take you to get people past this?
Will you? Not my job to get them past.
Well, you know what I mean. But
you know what
turn
I mean?
your conversation on to Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Well, usually by Wednesday we're on to the next, the way the flow of the week goes, and I just, the negativity that's gonna. I mean, and it's well justified,
no doubt. But what I'm saying is that's going to add to this, and the Jaguars couldn't handle prosperity today, JP. They had a 19-point lead. We talk all the time about adversity in this league, but it was prosperity that they struggled with. Well, this week, it's back to adversity.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be heavy. It's going to be thick. You're going to feel it in the building. This is going to be an interesting test because it's the worst loss the Jaguars have had this season, right? I mean, there's no doubt. The Rams, this is it. So this is the moment where the coach has to navigate his team through this with his example of leadership. This is how we do things. Because you guys know as well as I do. Listen, you got to come back and do the same things on Monday. You got to hopefully do it better. Same thing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can't let this thing hang. He's got to pull these guys through it in short order.
Because they've won 5 games. It's not like they haven't won games.
No, they have. But look, if they were sitting at 6-3 with a sweep over the Texans, we might not have voiced it this way, but we all would have been like, you know what? This is house money against the Chargers. Win, lose, win, great. Yep. It's fantastic. You lose, all right, we took care of the Division I, and we've got some really beatable opponents coming up. Now, this just raises the stakes on this game.
The proverbial hangover would feel a lot different.
It would be worth it.
You'd feel great about it.
Right. It's a free roll. Like, you want to win. You're going to try to win, and maybe you will win. And maybe they still will. You know, they're the ones who have to go out there and play. It's not us that are going to impact it one way or the other.
Hey, listen, and a couple players might be back. You know, you might get Brian Thomas Jr. back.
Hopefully
you might
Brenton
get
Strange.
And how important is he to this whole effort? But as much as you talk about, run the ball or attack the quarterback, I'm interested this week in how the coach pushes his way through. The FAST, an acronym that he laid out there, fundamentally sound, attacking,
situational masters.
And then the last one is the most important, tough. You're going to have to be mentally tough this week as a player to put this one, take your medicine tomorrow because it's not going to be any fun. But after that, man, you got to get through this.
Well, how do they do play calling situationally today? Travis Etienne had 7 carries in the second half. He had a 10-point lead at the half. He had a 19-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And he had 7 carries in the entire half. 16 for the game. It's not like it was an imbalance because they only threw it 23 times. But you had the perfect opportunity to lean into it, and I said it, you would have been better off taking a knee on every play in the fourth quarter. You probably would have won the game because you would have run that much clock. If you had just run it on every play, like they're throwing on one of those first downs, and we're like, what are you doing? Right. Run the ball. Eat 40 seconds, and if you get stuffed, you get stuffed, but you're burning precious time here. And
you know how that goes, though. We don't know if he got to the line and he had a check because of a look.
You're right. I don't know who called it or what, but the bottom line is Etienne cannot have 7 second-half carries in this game. He's got to have a dozen or more.
Well, that leads us to the offensive line play today. I mean, they had been, remember overtime last week? They run, 9 or 10 plays in the overtime drive, including, 8 in a row to end the game, including the game-winning touchdown sneak for Trevor. And, I mean, they just kind of forced the issue in that game. A little different defensive front today, of course, in Houston. I mean, these guys in the front 7 there's a reason why they're the number 1 defense in football coming in.
Well, Danielle Hunter just owned wherever he was lined up today, mostly over 72, right? Yep. Over Walker Little. Yep. And he just owned him. We know what Walker Little does well. And people who are listening to this are going to say, what does he do well? He's really good as a run blocker, but he is not a fleet-footed defender of his quarterback. He just doesn't handle those guys all that well. He got beat outside. He got beat inside. It was the worst-case scenario, which might plays to what you're talking about with a 19-point lead. Just keep running the ball. Just keep running the ball, running the clock. Figure out a way to do it. Run it right at
the very
Hunter.
least, you got a chance just to win the game on the fact that the Texans don't have enough time to go down the field 3 times.
Man, yeah. And with a 13-play drive to start the quarter and a 14-play drive to end the quarter.
Come on. And the one middle was just so quick, too. 6 plays, less than 3 minutes. Bing, bing, bing.
And now there's a couple injuries that popped up on the offensive line today as well. McCary and the right tackle as well. So question marks on the injury report again. Here we are.
You still want to keep talking about the offense?
What else do you want to say?
No.
I'm
wondering if we can be done with it.
Have today?
Nah, there's
plenty.
My list is probably not as long as some.
Down the hall. Tomorrow it's going to be a long list in the morning here. After Jaguars loss, 36-29, the final. We'll return in a moment. Our final thoughts coming up the 5th quarter show as well. They'll take your calls a little bit later. Lots to discuss, of course. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hey, I'm Logan Cook, punter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or stolen is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn on the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. But remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead, have a designated driver, keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
Jaguars fans, are you ready to beat the heat? All season long, head to Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach, Fleming Island, and the West Side to cheer on your Jags. And here's the game-changing play. Order the Beat the Heat Special, which includes 12 of the best wings in town, and score a free milkshake or ice-cold milk in the Jaguars Souvenir Cup. Thanks to our friends at Florida Dairy Farmers. Fuel up, cool down, and celebrate your Jaguars with Mr. Chubby's Wings and Florida Dairy Farmers, the ultimate game day team.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, that's what happens on 47,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. The fifth quarter coming up next. He'll take your calls into the evening here. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Brian Sexton for the final time from the Hyundai Studios. And from the backyard of the beaches, the Ford F-150 with available Pro Power on board gives you the power of a mobile generator. Ford, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. See your local Ford dealer today. I'll give you the bright spot today. I'll give you the bright spot. Even after this epic all-time collapse for the Jaguars in a losing result. 19 points. It's never been done in franchise history.
I'm aware.
Just to remind everybody.
Thank you.
36-29. They're 5-4.
Yeah.
They are in second place. They are now 3 games back of Indy. That's the bad news. Yeah. And 8 games to play in the regular season. 2 of those against Indy. They've got to do some work. But, I mean, it's really more about the in-game moving the ball when you need to on offense, getting one stop on defense, one play when it matters late by somebody, and this is a totally different conversation today.
Indy's what, 8-2 now?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not catching Indy. I'm just telling you, I watched Indy from start to finish like a lot of people did today.
Look good.
And this team is not playing well enough for you to be able to say they're going to be able to overcome, the mistakes and the problems that they have got. Now, can they make the playoffs? Oh, yeah. Absolutely, they can be a playoff team. And my focus is on how do you get into that 6th or 7th spot. I know that's not going to be Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen's approach, but I'm just looking at this rationally and saying, what do you got to get to be in a position to be in one of those wild card spots at 6 or 7, period? What does it take? And I think that the schedule, with some guys back and better play, can get you there.
It can, but boy, 6 in the win column today with a game against the Jets, 2 against the Titans. That you've got to count those. If you want to be a playoff
it's
team,
a missed opportunity.
You've got to win. That's 9 right there. You get the Cardinals. I mean, who knows what other teams are going to be injured or what? And you could say the same about the Jags, but come on.
I agree. But if that's your mindset, if you're thinking, how do I get wild card? How do I get in? Well, you're not going to get in because you're probably not going to win the division. You're not going to get in without winning your AFC games the rest of the way.
Beat
It's
the
a really big
Chargers.
one. Yes.
Right. Give yourself the head-to-head tiebreaker
You
against the
bet.
Chargers.
You bet.
You got it against Kansas City.
You look at the teams, right? The Ravens and the Texans are sitting at 4 and 5. The Chiefs and the Jags are at 5 and 4, and then you've got the Chargers sitting in front of you there as well. This one's. It's a big game, Mike. I mean,
look, if you do beat the Chargers, right, and I don't know what they'll do tonight, right? So let's say they lose, they're 6 and 4.
Yep.
If you beat them next week, you're ahead of them.
Yeah,
you'll be 6 and 4. They'll be 6 and 5.
You've got to have that approach with this team and their schedule the rest of the way. Maybe the Colts collapse. Who knows? But you got to have it. We're trying to get one of those wild card spots because that's who this team is right now. I think of Jim Moore, playoffs. You think you know, but you don't, right?
He lost the 19-point lead today.
Right, exactly. How can you even have this
What kind of
conversation?
question is that?
Right. Think about the Jets and the Browns, right? Who are each 2 and 7. But you brought up the positive, so I'm just running through. I'm taking the ball, coach, and I'm running with it. And that is that this team is going to get a couple players back. Now, we don't know who they might lose to injury today. But if they can settle things down and figure out a way to just win this next week, this game is really important for the wild card seeding.
And that's all they are ever going to think about, at least internally, messaging-wise. They're not worried about the wild card stuff right now. They're worried about one game at a time.
That's all they can do.
That's all you can do with this group. This group especially. New group, new coaching staff, a lot of new players. You got to focus in on one game, and that's what they've done so far. It didn't work out today, unfortunately. 36-29, final score. Jags AM tomorrow?
Yeah. Live and in person. With the West Coast games in London, we haven't been live on Monday morning in a while. It should be a lively conversation.
Okay, what time? 10-ish?
10 a.m.
Jaguars.
The beauty of the free website and of YouTube is that we can really start whenever we want, but we strive to maintain the broadcast standard and start at 10.
It's a high standard.
We'll start at 10.
Okay,
every
good.
day.
There you go.
We start at 10.
Speaking
I don't
of
know what all that
standards.
other gobbledygook was, but we're starting at 10.
Surprisingly, I'm not in control of that.
Yes, David Garrett's got the day off tomorrow, but me and Tony will have it on 10
what's
XL.
Garrett doing? This is the perfect time to talk about offense.
Well, what can I tell you?
That's fine.
He's on assignment.
10 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I love that line.
Yeah, that's Jaguars today, tomorrow on 10 XL. Of course, 4 to 6 tomorrow, Jaguars Happy Hour. Pete Prisco might have some comments about this football game. We'll hear from him and Austin Lane tomorrow on the AM Signal and Jaguars.com. Thanks to our entire crew, both here and in Houston. And thanks to you for listening. For Brian Sexton, Mike Dempsey, I'm J.P. Shadrick saying good night. Final score, Texans 36, Jaguars 29. Fifth quarter is next. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.